Working on Bad News Bears was, just a total game changer. At that time, I had actually been an actor, since I was 5. Landing this role just kind of seemed like, oh, cool, another gig. There was something about it that was kind of special, when they started getting, Tatum involved and Walter. A lot of the auditioning process really kind of seemed to be about building the ensemble. I was in a room and they were putting different people together. We'd go out to the parking lot in Paramount and start throwing the ball around. And I really wasn't much of a baseball player. I was decent. It was a really good script. It just felt like school to me. Like I knew a version of every kid at school, and our behavior in the scenes and in the movie and the way they were written reminded me of life at that age.
Anybody else?
It really was neat getting to play Kelly Lee. Kelly, to me, at his core, was always he was kind of a badass, but he was also really cool. He was still a guy with a heart. I don't know who shaped who. I think I kind of have a feeling he shaped me more than I shaped him. Because I think in the years that followed, there was 2 more sequels, and that's a real informative age. I didn't have a motorcycle, but I definitely ride my bicycle to the park and hang out with my friends and smoke cigarettes. It was interesting with the cigarettes. I knew that I had to smoke these things in a way that my character looked like he knew how to smoke and he was cool doing it, but I also had to do it in such a way that my dad would think that I really didn't know how to do it.
How many times you gotta be told to quit hanging around here?
You know what I mean? So there's this real balancing act. It was fun, learning how to ride a motorcycle for that part. The CHP would put on a class for people that want to get a motorcyclist license. And I think it was a full weekend thing. I'm there with all these adults, but I'm 14, and I've got this little bitty motorcycle. Everybody's has these huge Harleys and Hondas and all this, but it was really fun. With Tatum, she was 12, I was 14. At the time, she could get a little headstrong, but so could I. I definitely enjoyed our scenes playing air hockey.
What you got against baseball anyway?
It was just neat being off of the baseball field, because it just seemed like the whole movie was on that baseball field, or that's what it felt like.
If I win, you play baseball for Bears. And if I win, maybe.
Spent the weekend at her house once. We were playing frisbee out in the sand and stuff, and I was kind of on the side where Ryan was, and we're throwing the frisbee back to her, and he's kind of clowning around with me. He puts me in a headlock, and he says, "You touch my daughter, I'm going to break both your legs." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, I think I'll chill my jets a little bit here." We'd all get there super early, close to sunrise or shortly after. There was a guy that was kind of in charge of the kids who was also a baseball guy. So he was kind of a coach, but he was also a kid wrangler. After we'd get into wardrobe, we'd all hit the field, and he'd start hitting balls to everybody, and we'd, try to tag out an imaginary guy going to first. I'd take some outfielders and we'd warm up our arms and do all this. We were undergoing an ongoing baseball camp for 3 months or whatever it was. Michael Ritchie experience directing the Bears had to be just like herding cats. That is the best way to explain it. To me, sometimes it was very trying to be on the set with 10 or 12 kids. And Michael Ritchie must have pulled his hair out at times. I really enjoyed him. There was a couple of times where, he definitely I think I irked him, so he irked me a little bit. Remember one time I was outfield, it was early in the morning, and I'm center field, and I'm supposed to do some amazing catches, and for whatever reason, throwing these balls up, and I just keep missing them. And Michael started to get irked. He's like, "Come on, catch the ball." It's like, "We're gonna dock your pay," or he said something like that. In terms of getting performances out of everybody, the way that movie, hangs together, he did an amazing job.
I want you handling the ball as much as possible out there today. This game is too damn important for us.
I was a fan of Walter, always have been a fan of Walter. I always kind of saw the happy-go-lucky in him. And when I met him, and throughout the whole movie, he always felt like that to me. He seemed to enjoy being around all these kids. quite often Walter could get silly, and he would do it like in the middle of a take. So that I'm not sure how Michael liked that, but sometimes Walter would become one of the kids. And I'm guessing this, but I would imagine that Michael found him helpful from the standpoint of that if Walter was focusing, I think we all naturally would lean in and focus as well. It definitely felt like a team and a unit. Brandon, I would say, was kind of more part of us, because he was one of the main actors, even though he was the pitcher for the Yankees. But everybody else that was there, I think, were with the exception of maybe one or two actors, I think everybody else was Little League players. What kind of separated us is like we knew that they were all way better baseball players than we were. The studio was kind of leaning towards us wanting to win. Stanley and I believe Michael really wanted to use us losing. The movie was about a lot more than the baseball. It was about these characters, it was about their relationships, how they were growing as individuals and as a group. I think it really was way more important for us to win by losing. When you work on a film and it's over, there is definitely a little period of time where there's this sense of loss. The thing that was great about Bad News Bears is that ending the movie led to the movie coming out and us traveling around the country for 2 or 3 weeks promoting it, hanging out again together. And then a lot of us went on to do the other 2 movies. A lot of people got into sports because of Kelly League. A lot of people smoked cigarettes because of Kelly League. Playing Kelly led to Little Children, that led to, Rorschach, that led to Freddy Krueger. We had no idea what we were doing until the movie came out, and it was just huge and basically life-changing.